And we're live. Shabbat Shalom. Peace, people. Welcome, everyone. Beyond Babbitt. Your host, Brian Anthony, reporting for duty. Again, Beyond Babbitt, baby. Your host, Brian Anthony, reporting for duty. Situation's getting critical, guys. Early morning broadcast. I know no one's up. It's early Saturday morning, 24th November. I've preloaded the video down below in the description box. We'll go over this. We'll try to break it down, give you guys what you need to know to survive. Full moon out this morning. I'm looking right at it. Red skies this way, sun coming up over that way, moon over here. Anyway, so the video that I loaded is the Mexican reporter. I just found out his mother was born in Sweden, and he lives in Mexico, speaks very well Spanish, and his mother was born in Sweden, but his dad's probably from Mexico. And he just, urgent report he just put out, he's being censored. He said he just read the new Mexico Constitution. He showed it, the cover of it on the camera. The Mexico Constitution was redone in 2017, and it's basically the same as the UN Constitution. And under that model, there is no such thing as illegal immigration, because there is no such thing as borders, because it's New World. So let's go ahead and get into it. I really need to inform you guys, stay awake. They're closing in on us. It's us against the world, like I've said before. One thing that he stated, there were senators in Mexico who are saying that they're not going to be thousands coming anymore. They're millions now. Remember I said that a few videos ago, that my estimate was that there'd be about 16 million to come to the U.S. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So Mexico signs on to the UN migrant policy. The U.S. has not. So, and one of my subscribers left that information for me on a video, left that comment. I wasn't aware of any UN migrant policy, which basically says you're free to move anywhere in the world you want to. There are no borders. Borders are now illegal, according to the United Nations. And whether you sign on or not, they're going to force it on you. The U.S. has not signed on. Mexico has. And so Mexico has changed their constitution to fit the United Nations Constitution. And in the video down below in the description box, the reporter plays a guy. I don't speak Spanish. I can recognize Spanish words here and there, broken Spanish is what you call it. I can't, especially when you're speaking really fast, I don't know what's going on. But he even put subtitles on it on his video. He said he's not going to upload it to YouTube because he's being censored heavily. He says he can't even say the things he feels like anymore because now there's no longer free speech. It's considered hate speech. If he says he doesn't believe in it, anything you say against them is considered hate speech. Sounds familiar? Who's pushing hate speech in the U.S.? We got to know there are different sides working here, guys. We got to wake up to it. There's no more being soft, as some guys would say back in the day, pussyfooting around. We got to call a spade a spade. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, guess what? It's a duck. We have to call people out. We have to hold them accountable. There's no more trying to be nice and you don't want to offend anybody. Forget that. Forget that. Because they're finna step on your rights. Well, let's get this thing moving because I have things to do today. I don't want to be out here for 6 hours. But anyway, thank y'all for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. We're going to go ahead and get started with the real information. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell as times gets critical. So let's go ahead and get started. So G20 Summit starts December the 1st, 2018, 1 week from today, next Saturday. It's in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's like Nation of 20, and they're going to discuss the biggest thing on the agenda. It's going to be discussed at the G20 Summit is the U.S.-China trade war. Now, this is critical. This is important because I look at it like this. How in the old days, you'd have two opposing forces on the battlefield, two armies and two generals, and they both come out to the middle and meet and have a little discussion. In other words, this is the last chance. This is the last little talk in 7 days, December the 1st, 2018. You know, you had some people saying, oh, nothing's going to happen in 2018. You haven't seen all this happen yet? Okay. 30 days. Okay, so you have some publications saying, oh, yeah, there's going to be a breakthrough. The U.S. and China is going to get along. Everything's going to move forward. It's going to, because right now the world is being taken captive by this issue, the U.S.-China trade thing. And this is to see who's going to run the New World Order. Trump is not going to budge. He's not going to fold. Xi Jinping is not going to budge. He's not going to fold. No. So everybody's lining up, choosing sides. But this is the last meeting, a show of good faith, December the 1st at the G20 Summit, Buenos Aires, Argentina, next Saturday. So all the important nations of the world will be there. Now, back to what the reporter placed and translated. There's a spokesperson for the, we'll just call them caravan, the migrant caravan, which is actually a people bomb, a migrant army. He even said that some of them may be sick, and he said he can't say more than that because it would be considered hate speech. He's been contacted, been threatened. Some of the things he's saying he cannot say. So he's trying to abide by that. But anyway, there's a guy wearing sunglasses and a hat, speaking Spanish, speaking out. He threatened America. He threatened the U.S. He was like, you see what we did to bust through the gates to get here? And he said, Trump said he's not going to let us in. He said, we want to meet your deal with Trump. Otherwise, it's going to go down. In other words, they're saying they're going to bust through. And he's so confident, and he feels like he has the right to say this because he's been coached and told by the United Nations, by the UN, that Trump does not have the right to fire upon them if they bust through our gates, if they bust through our borders. They said the U.S. cannot and will not fire upon them. So they're making threats like they're the tough guys, like they're the bad guys. Like we better submit to their will or else. It's pretty much what he's saying. And he said something like, a strong nation is coming to help us. And the reporter's like, what strong nation? He kept on talking. He's like, Russia's coming. Russia is coming to help us. He did say that. And he said, I have their phone number. He says, I have contacts. I guess the Russians are in Chile. I have contacts to them down in Chile. And when I call them, they answer, they're coming to back us up. That's what he said. The Russians are coming to back us up. That's what he said. He said the mayor of Tijuana It's declared a state of emergency. They're spending $26,000 a day just to feed the migrants and care for them. But the president of Mexico is with it. He signed on to it. So he's making all the states, cities, whatever, across Mexico submit to the will of the United Nations. The president of Mexico is with the United Nations. Okay. So we know that now the UN is fully behind this invasion. We saw the video of them giving out the credit cards, United Nations logo. We know that they were being paid $7,000 each. They don't have the money to pay $7,000 each. They were being paid $7,000 each. So freedom of speech is being curtailed. The guy in the video said that several times. The things he wants to say, he says as a conservative, as a Christian, as so-and-so, he said he can't say anymore. It would be considered hate speech. Get ready, guys. It's coming. He also mentioned that the immigrants, the migrants, are already getting UBI, Universal Basic Income. You know, we talked about that before. We discussed that, to where they just pay you to stay at home. You don't have to work. But right now they're going to pay you to use you as sheeple, cannon fodder. They're using them as a people bomb to destroy this. Basically, it's going to be done like this all around the world. You've seen it's already happened. The Arab Spring, how they tore down all of Northern Africa and the Middle East. And then the European Spring, and now the American Spring. But I had an epiphany this morning. Because Africa is going to be untouched. That's just what I felt in my spirit. I saw the continent of Africa. So if America gets overrun, that's probably the only place you're going to be able to go to get away. And a lot of people hear that word, whoa, they get offended. Africa, oh, dirty word, oh. Oh well, it's your choice. It's not going to stop. The UN is not turning back. These people are not coming back. And like I said in a previous video, I thought it could be up to 16 million. This guy said, a senator down there has confirmed that there's no longer a few thousand coming. He said there are millions coming. There are millions coming. Do I need this light? Still good. And he said there are millions coming now. So, and after they see the first guys get through, they see the first people get through, they're taking the video, sending it back. This is easy. We're getting paid. Look, watch. The rest of them, oh, I want to go too. That's the millionaires, right, in America. Moving right along. So now that we know that Mexico is in on it as well, that's why the police are escorting the migrants all the way up to the border fence. Mexican police are keeping them safe, escorting them there. And Chile is in on it too. So Chile has moved. You know, I had the list of nations who was on the U.S. side, our allies, and the B side, the opposition. Chile, I had them on the wall and on the fence, trying to decide. They've signed on. Yeah, Adam G. The thing about that is, every world war started in Africa, for 1, 2, and 3. But there's never been, as you see, it's been untouched. They don't want to destroy the resources. All these other continents are going to get nuked and bombed and all that. Africa, they're going to do fighting. They're fighting there now. Machine guns. Oh, but there's going to be that and a whole lot more here. And now reporters from Mexico are saying that they're saying really there are no more women and children in the caravan. They're all men now, and they're armed, and they're heavily armed. So Mexico and Chile are officially enemies of ours now. So one thing Trump said the other day, he did a practice run. He shut down the border. No cars could get through either direction. No people could get through. I don't know how long he held it like that, but it was a test run. And he said he's not opposed to shutting down the entire southern border altogether if he felt that Mexico, look at this. Well, I tell you, train, what kind of crap is that? Okay. So Trump said that he's not opposed to shutting down. Morning Joe. He said he's not opposed to shutting down the entire southern border if he feels that Mexico has lost control and can't stop the flow of people. Which means he said that Mexico wouldn't be able to sell their cars and get them into the U.S. Any product Mexico is making is not going to, it's not going to be able to be driven in because he's going to shut down all the car lanes, all the people lanes, like there's a wall. So we have some media outlets reporting, oh, the troops are going home Friday. And then you have some media outlets saying that's fake news, saying the troops ain't going nowhere. So we'll see. All we know is the last meeting, 1 week from today, the G20 meeting in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And the main thing on the agenda, U.S. and China trade war. So the guy that's speaking in the video, who's boldly speaking, who's threatening the U.S., threatening Trump, he says, according to the UN, they cannot fire upon us, saying the U.S., Trump, they cannot fire upon the migrants. So they're saying that they're coming, they're going to storm the border, either we let it, and he said he wants to make a deal with Trump. You know, it doesn't matter if you make a deal with Trump. It's the citizens here you're not going to make the deal with. See, Trump can let you in if he wants to. It's the citizens here you're going to have a problem with. You're not just going to change everybody's way of life by force like that. It's going to clash. So the UN is saying that we don't have a right to fire upon them, even if they kill, throw rocks and kill people on the border, or if they storm the border. That's basically going to just pit us more against the world, us against the world. We don't know how much of an ally the Canadian government is to us. The citizens of Canada are pretty much allies with us, but the Canadian government, they may be against us as well. We don't know who's standing with us anymore. We know some of the small Malaysia. They're going to build up Malaysia, and I think that's an ally of ours. But China wants to control all the Asian countries, and then Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. So the guy says he can call Russia up right now. He has the number to Russia in Chile, and he said they're coming. He didn't say they might come. He said Russia, a strong country, Russia is coming to back us up. Is this the invasion? The UN and Russia. And so also at the G20, Kim Jong-un is going to be there. Maduro, Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela, and the guy from, who else is going to be there? Kim Jong-un, China, Russia, Venezuela at this meeting. We already saw them staging ships down there, an armada by Argentina. Allegedly, there are tanks in Mexico with the star on them. So the G20 is it. The battlefield is already set. We already know that the U.S. was supposed to have taken control of Syrian airspace. And it's non-stop flights, like the beehive, like a wasp nest, making sure no other nation tries to come in. So this is it, guys. Next Saturday, the G20 summit in Argentina is going to determine when World War III is jumping off. And we already see what's happening with the stock market. The economic collapse is already happening. So, trade war, currency war, real war. It's all happening. So, Buenos Aires, December 1st, G20 summit. President of Venezuela, who hates us. President of, or chairman of North Korea, who hates us. Russia and China, and a bunch of others. will be there to decide the fate of the world. Chile has been moved from the column of on the fence to opposition. And Mexico was already on that side. And they're sure they're going to flood even Baja California with immigrants. They're getting ready to invade California first. They knew it would be tricky to just come straight into Texas. But watch the video. I've already preloaded it. It's in the description box down below. And he said nobody knows who's coming now. How many caravans are already on the way? It's more than 10,000 people. He said there's so many caravans, they split up so they can be undetected. So now we talked about India doing a deal with Russia, buying weapons, $500 million worth. Yeah, well, I can't say that Israel stole it and gave it to China. The whole Chinese army was built from U.S. military, from what the Clintons gave to China, sold to China, and that was public news. They got caught. That's why their planes look like ours. Yeah. And so now they have spy technology to where they can steal it themselves. So I don't know if Israel gave it to them or not. So India made a deal with Russia to buy $500 million, $500 million worth of arms. So India is no longer an ally of ours, or probably no longer could be. Well, let's top that. Japan inks a deal with the U.S. and NATO to buy nearly $1 billion worth of weapons. $1 billion. That's 2 times what the deal that. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's why they call it the New World Order. The whole world is going to be involved in it. It's a bunch of backstabbing going on right now. Because if the U.S. is in control of Syrian airspace and Russia was the guardians, where's Russia? Why haven't our planes and stuff been shot down? Why haven't our tankers been attacked? Because Pence and Bolton made a deal with them. Okay, you let us do this and you'll get a piece of the pie. And Russia just faded away. It's a lost cause, series of lost cause. It's just Iran. That's and the Iran is not even in Syria flying, according to the report we did yesterday. But they're saying Iran is now building its 5th generation fighter jet. That's supposed to be bad. I mean, everybody's getting ready for the big one. And it's going to start soon. And it's going to come to a head in a matter of months. But in a number of days, we've already been seeing things covertly. But it's going to be overt. So Japan inks a deal to buy nearly almost $1 billion worth of U.S. and NATO weapons. That tops what India is doing, buying $500 million from Russia. So this thing is heating up, guys. I've noticed that Israel, we are more of an ally to Israel than they are to us. And we've been isolated. We have no allies. Now, some of the smaller countries, but they can't be expected to do much. They always expect us to carry the heavy load, right? We're the mighty USA. But we have a week, and we'll get the results of we pretty much know how the conversation is going to go. The U.S. wants China to back off in the South China Sea, remove the missiles. They're not going to do it. The One Belt, One Road is not going to allow them to do it. China wants us to back off Taiwan and a number of other things. We're not going to do it. So you know what comes next. You know what's next. So anyway, guys, I mean the news in a nutshell. It's just a waiting game now. Um, Stay on guard. We have 7 days to get a plan together. Anyway, I don't want to hold this up too long. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We have to get this message out. Time is running short. Time is running short. Yeah, people don't want to talk about religion. I be hearing that stuff all the time, but this is definitely the time. Me, I believe in the Son of God, Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus. And I saw a couple of people just log off when I said that, but then I saw some thumbs up also when I said that. So, man, you got to keep it real, man. Because this life, this life is not, you're not going to be immortal in this body. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to, and then they're finna shorten the lifespan spans of a lot of people. So just make sure you know where you're going when this thing is all over with, because this is not the end of the road. Even if you die today, it's not the end. You'll see what's next. And you want to be on the right side of that as well. Yes, Barbie. What's that? Barbie's rule? Yes, Barbie's rule. Trust Jesus. Thank you. Anyway, I don't want to hold y'all up, but thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody you know. This is the last call. Anyway, Brian Anthony, Beyond Babbitt. Brian Anthony, your host. Over and out.